Have you ever been in that moment where you're staring at your phone, overthinking every little thing, whether you should text her, whether you should block her, whether you should pull away, whether she even cares anymore? Your mind is racing, your stomach's tight, and all you want is to feel in control again. But instead, you feel stuck. You feel powerless. You feel like she's holding all the cards. Well, what if I told you that the moment you stop trying to force things, stop blocking, stop begging, stop reacting, and instead shift into something stronger? That's the moment she actually feels it. Not because you're playing games. Not because you're being cold. But because you're finally moving. In a way that makes her realize what she took for granted. This video isn't about manipulation. It's not about tricks. It's about one truth most men overlook. She feels your energy more than your words. And she reacts to what you embody, not what you chase. So in this video, I'm going to break down the one approach that consistently hits her harder than disappearing, harder than pleading, harder than ultimatums, harder than emotional outbursts, and even harder than blocking. But before we dive into it, let me set the stage. Every relationship, situationship, or almost relationship has tension. There's push and pull, there's uncertainty. There are moments where one person is more invested than the other. The mistake most men make is reacting emotionally to that tension. They try to solve it instantly, through talking it out, through pushing harder, through trying to fix the vibe. But here's the uncomfortable truth. When you try to fix the vibe from a place of insecurity, you only make the gap wider. She may pull back slightly, and you rush forward. She may get quiet, and you panic. She may act distant, and you start thinking something is wrong with you. And that's the moment you lose your power. But there is a different way. A way that instantly changes the dynamic. A way she actually feels without you saying a single dramatic word. And it starts with this principle. You stop forcing your presence. And you start strengthening your absence. Not blocking. Not disappearing. Not begging. Not chasing. Just becoming someone whose energy is calm, composed, focused, and moving forward. This is what makes her suddenly wonder instead of assume. This is what makes her notice instead of take you for granted. This is what makes her curiosity wake up. This is what makes her think. So here's what we're going to do. This video is broken into 3 parts. Part 1, the mindset shift that instantly changes how she perceives you. Part 2, the behavior shift that quietly but powerfully hits her. Part 3, the long game shift that changes your dating life forever. No blocking. No begging. No emotional reactions. Just a clean, powerful shift in energy. Let's get into it. The behavior shift. This is the part most guys skip, misunderstand, or try to shortcut. They think behavior shift means acting cold, pretending not to care, going silent, or using some kind of reverse psychology game. But that's not what actually hits her. The shift that impacts her the most isn't about withdrawing attention. It's about rebalancing your life so your attention is no longer centered on her. And that difference is massive. Because the moment your life becomes bigger than the situation with her, 2 things happen simultaneously. 1, your energy changes. 2, her perception of you changes. This is not about disrespect, ego, or punishment. It's about rediscovering the version of yourself you were before. Overthinking took over. So let's break down the behavioral shift that hits her the hardest. Without blocking, begging, or dramatics. 1, you stop responding to emotion with emotion. When she's distant, you stop trying to pull her closer. When she's unclear, you stop trying to force clarity. When she's cold, you stop getting warm just to compensate. You become steady. You take everything at face value. You let her tone be her tone. You let her space be her space. You aren't fighting reality, you're accepting it. This creates a subtle but powerful shift. She now has room to feel the space she created. And that awareness hits harder than any message you could send. 2, you return to your natural rhythm. Most men lose themselves when they feel a woman slipping away. Their routines get disrupted. Their mind races. They stop doing the things that kept them grounded. But when you return to your rhythm, the gym, your goals, your work, your sleep, your interests, your energy stabilizes again. You're no longer checking your phone with tension. You're no longer waiting for her attention like it's oxygen. You are moving. And movement is magnetic. 3. You slow down your availability without forcing it. Not as a tactic. Not as revenge. Not as, let me make her chase. You simply stop being instantly accessible. Not in a rude way, in a real way. You reply when you're genuinely free. You give energy when you genuinely have it. You talk when the conversation naturally flows. You're no longer acting from anxiety, you're acting from normalcy. Women feel that difference on an instinctive level. 4. You mirror effort, not emotion. If she gives short replies, you don't overcompensate. If she takes hours to respond, you don't rush your reply. If she seems distracted, you don't try to pull deep conversation out of thin air. You match her tone with calm consistency. This doesn't push her away, it actually grounds the connection. Because instead of reacting, you're aligning. 5. You lead with calm instead of urgency. Urgency comes from fear. Calm comes from confidence. Your behavior says, I respect your pace, and I'm good either way. And that is the moment she starts to feel the difference. Not because you blocked. Not because you begged. Not because you threatened to walk away. But because you quietly returned to the version of yourself she was originally drawn to. The man who has a life, a direction, and a grounded presence. This is where she starts noticing the shift. The long game shift. Here's the truth most men don't want to hear. Short-term changes get short-term. Reactions. Long-term changes get long-term results. When you shift your energy for a week, a woman might notice it. She might feel the difference. She might even reach out a little more. But that doesn't truly transform anything. What transforms everything is when she realizes your shift isn't temporary. It's your new normal. And this long game shift isn't about becoming harder or colder or more distant. It's about becoming more whole. 1. You are no longer controlled by her level of interest. One of the biggest turning points in a man's dating life is when he finally understands this. Her interest level should never override your self-respect. When a woman senses that your emotions depend on her attention, she loses the ability to relax into the connection. She feels pressure she never asked for. She feels responsibility she doesn't want. But when your happiness, confidence, and direction come from within your life, not her, the entire dynamic becomes healthier, cleaner, lighter. You're not overinvesting. You're not underinvesting. You're matching reality and moving with it. This is long game strength. 2. You build a life she naturally wants to fit into. The long game isn't about chasing. It's not about trying to win her over. It's not about performing, impressing, or proving yourself. It's about creating a life you're proud of, a life that elevates you, challenges you, and demands the best version of you. Men undervalue how attractive it is when a guy is simply in motion. Consistent in the gym. Focused on work or business. Building plans for his future. Surrounded by solid male friendships. Pursuing experiences and growth. Living with direction. She feels this stability. She feels this self-respect. She feels this upward momentum. And ironically, it draws her in far more than any attempt to get her attention directly. You're not trying to hit her with anything. Your life hits on its own. 3. You master emotional neutrality. This is not emotional numbness. This is not shutting down. This is not being unapproachable. This is the ability to feel emotion without being controlled by it. Emotion, she took a while to respond. Neutrality, okay. Emotion, she seems off today. Neutrality, people have days. Emotion, the vibe isn't what it used to be. Neutrality, vibes shift. I stay grounded. This stability is rare. And women recognize it instantly. 4. You keep your standards quietly, not loudly. You don't announce what you won't tolerate. You don't make threats. You don't give ultimatums. You don't say, if you don't do X, I'm gone. You simply move accordingly. If connection builds, you lean in naturally. If she's consistent, you reciprocate. If she's uncertain long-term, you make peace with walking away gracefully. Your standard is felt, not preached. 5. You stay open, but unattached. This is the sweet spot. You're not closed off. You're not cynical. You're not jaded. You're available for the right connection, but you're not dependent on it. You can enjoy her, but you don't cling to her. You can care, but you don't collapse. This long game state is where a woman feels the deepest pull. Because you're not trying to impress her. You're not trying to pressure her. You're not trying to convince her. You're simply being who you are, and letting her feel the gravity of it. So if you've made it this far, understand this. Everything we talked about in this video comes down to one simple truth. You don't need to block her. You don't need to beg. You don't need to force anything. You just need to come back to yourself. Because when you stop chasing what's slipping, and you start building what's solid, women feel that shift instantly. It's subtle. It's quiet. It's grounded. And it hits harder than any dramatic move ever could. This entire journey isn't about getting her attention. It's about regaining your center. Once you do that, the right people stay, the wrong people fall away. And you stop losing yourself trying to keep someone else. If this video helped you, if it shifted your mindset, or if it made something inside you click, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Not because I need the numbers, but because I'm going to keep giving you the tools, the clarity, and the mindset to handle dating, relationships, and your own growth without losing your power. So hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and join the guys who are done operating from insecurity and ready to move with calm, quiet strength. And if you want the next level, if you want the deeper breakdowns, if you want more of the raw truth about male energy, feminine attraction, and how to carry yourself in the modern dating world, stick around. I'll see you in the next one.